There is a knobby brown root sitting in the bottom of your produce drawer right now, half forgotten behind the carrots. Most people buy it once for a recipe and let the rest dry out before they ever touch it again. But ginger root is one of the oldest remedies in human history, and almost nobody alive today uses it the way their grandmother did. Pharmaceutical companies and supplement brands have spent decades selling you separate pills, patches, and powders for problems your grandmother solved with one root and a sharp knife. They do not want you noticing how often the active ingredient in their products is the same compound sitting in your produce drawer for free. Today, we are counting down 15 ginger remedies that have been used for centuries and still work today, and number 1 is the one that could replace a daily pain relief habit with something that costs about a nickel a dose. Let's get into it. Number 15, upset stomach tea. Your grandmother never reached for a chalky tablet the moment her stomach felt unsettled. Slice a 1-inch piece of fresh ginger root into thin coins, steep it in a cup of hot water for 10 minutes, then sip it slowly. The natural compounds in ginger, especially one called gingerol, help calm the stomach lining and ease the queasy feeling that comes with an upset gut. A 2000 review published in the British Journal of Anesthesia examined multiple clinical trials and found ginger reduced nausea more effectively than a placebo across several different causes. Anti-nausea tablets cost $6 to $9 for a small box. She called it her settling tea, and she never paid pharmacy prices for a stomach that just needed time and warmth. Number 14, motion sickness chew. Long car rides and choppy boat trips were never something your grandmother dreaded the way some people do today. Keep a few thin slices of fresh ginger root in a small container and chew on one slowly about 20 minutes before traveling. The same gingerol compound that settles a stomach also appears to ease the inner ear disturbance that causes motion sickness in many people. Motion sickness tablets cost $8 to $12 for a small pack of 20. Our grandmothers understood that a sliced root in a tin could do the same job as a brand name pill with a much longer name. Number 13, ginger and honey cough syrup. A nagging cough in the middle of the night was never an automatic trip to the cold and flu aisle. Simmer 2 tablespoons of grated fresh ginger in 1 cup of water for 10 minutes, strain it, then stir in 2 tablespoons of honey while the liquid is still warm. The warming compounds in ginger combined with honey's soothing texture coat the throat and ease the urge to cough. Store-bought cough syrups cost $7 to $11 a bottle for a fraction of the ginger concentration. She called it her night syrup, and she kept a jar of it ready every winter without fail. Number 12, steam inhalation for congestion. A stuffy nose during cold season was never something your grandmother suffered through for days at a time. Add a few slices of fresh ginger to a bowl of steaming hot water, lean over it with a towel draped over your head, and breathe deeply for 5 to 10 minutes. The warm steam loosens mucus, and the aromatic compounds in ginger may help ease the feeling of a blocked nose. Decongestant sprays cost $6 to $10 a bottle and only last a few hours at a time. Before decongestant sprays existed, your grandmother had already found her own way to breathe easier. Number 11, warm ginger gargle for a sore throat. A scratchy throat was never something your grandmother treated with an expensive lozenge tin. Steep fresh ginger slices in hot water for 10 minutes, let the liquid cool slightly, then gargle for 30 seconds before spitting it out, repeating a few times a day. The natural warming effect of ginger combined with the heat of the water helps soothe an irritated throat lining. A bag of medicated throat lozenges costs $4 to $6 for a small handful. She did not need a tin of lozenges to get through a scratchy throat. Number 10, ginger compress for menstrual cramps. Painful cramps were never something your grandmother simply endured without a remedy of her own. Soak a cloth in warm water steeped with fresh ginger, wring it out, and lay it across the lower abdomen for 15 to 20 minutes. A study published in BMC Complementary and Alternative Medicine compared ginger powder directly against ibuprofen for menstrual pain and found the two performed similarly well. Pain relief medication costs $8 to $14 a bottle depending on the brand. our grandparents understood that a warm cloth and a root from the kitchen could rival what the pharmacy charged real money for. Number 9. Ginger tea for sluggish digestion and bloating. A heavy, bloated feeling after a big meal was never something your grandmother ignored until it passed on its own. Steep fresh ginger slices in hot water for 10 minutes and sip it slowly after eating, especially after a rich or fatty meal. Research has found that ginger can speed up how quickly the stomach empties its contents, which is part of why it eases that uncomfortable full feeling. Digestive aid tablets cost $7 to $10 for a small bottle. She kept a pot of ginger tea ready after every holiday dinner instead of reaching for a tablet. Before we get to the top 7, if you are finding these forgotten remedies useful, hit subscribe right now. I post forgotten home remedies and money-saving household secrets that your grandmother used before every ache came with a price tag attached. Most people watching this right now have not subscribed yet. Change that so you do not miss what is coming. Back to the list. Number 8. Ginger oil rub for sore muscles. Achy muscles after a long day of work were never something your grandmother paid a clinic to massage away. Warm a small amount of oil infused with fresh grated ginger and massage it gently into sore muscles for a few minutes. The natural warming sensation increases blood flow to the area, which can ease tension and stiffness. Muscle rub creams cost $9 to $13 a tube for a much smaller dose of the same warming compounds. She called it her rubbing oil, and she made a fresh batch every few weeks for almost nothing. Number 7. Ginger bath soak for cold hands and feet. Poor circulation on a cold winter night was never something your grandmother solved by buying heated gloves. Add a few tablespoons of fresh grated ginger to a basin or bath of warm water and soak your hands or feet for 15 minutes. The compounds in ginger encourage blood vessels near the skin to widen slightly, which can help warm cold extremities faster. Heated hand warmers cost $6 to $10 for a small box that lasts only a few hours. Before heated hand warmers existed, your grandmother had already found her own way to keep warm. Number 6. Ginger and lemon tonic for the common cold. The first sign of a cold was never an automatic trip to the pharmacy for your grandmother. Mix fresh grated ginger, the juice of half a lemon, and a spoonful of honey into a mug of hot water and sip it slowly. The combination delivers warming compounds and vitamin C at the same time, which together may help ease early cold symptoms and support the body through it. Cold and flu daytime remedies cost $8 to $12 a box for a handful of doses. She called it her cold tonic, and she started drinking it the moment anyone in the house sniffled. Number 5. Ginger as a natural meat tenderizer. Tough, inexpensive cuts of meat were never a problem your grandmother avoided in the kitchen. Rub fresh grated ginger directly onto meat or blend it into a marinade and let it sit for 30 minutes before cooking. Enzymes naturally present in ginger help break down tough muscle fibers the same way papaya and pineapple are sometimes used in cooking. Commercial meat tenderizing powders cost $5 to $8 a small container. Our grandmothers understood that the cheapest cut of meat could taste just as good with the right kitchen trick. Number 4. Ginger scalp rinse for dandruff and itchiness. A flaky, itchy scalp was never something your grandmother solved with an expensive medicated shampoo. Steep fresh ginger in hot water, let it cool completely, then massage the liquid into the scalp before rinsing it out in the shower. The natural compounds in ginger may help soothe an irritated scalp and reduce the itching that often comes with flaking. Medicated dandruff shampoos cost $12 to $18 a bottle for a few months of use. She did not need a medicated label to keep her scalp comfortable. Number 3. Ginger appetite tonic after illness. Getting your appetite back after being sick was never something your grandmother rushed with expensive recovery shakes. Sip a small cup of warm ginger tea about 20 minutes before a meal to help stimulate appetite naturally. Ginger has long been used to ease the stomach into being ready to eat again after it has been unsettled. Nutritional recovery shakes cost $3 to $5 per single serving bottle. She called it waking the appetite, and she used it on every member of the family after every illness. Number 2. Ginger ale the old way. Bottled ginger ale at the store barely contains any real ginger at all, despite the name on the label. Simmer fresh grated ginger with a little sugar and water to make a simple syrup, then mix a spoonful into sparkling water for a real ginger drink. The real root delivers the actual compounds people originally reached for ginger ale to get in the first place. A six-pack of name-brand ginger ale costs $5 to $7 and contains barely a trace of actual ginger. The companies selling you that green can know exactly how little real ginger people would accept if they ever asked. And here is number one. Everything on this list so far has solved a passing discomfort, something that came and went within a day or two. This last one is different because it is not about a sore throat or a stuffy nose. It is about something millions of people manage every single day for years at a time, often with a recurring monthly cost they have stopped questioning. Joint pain and the stiffness that comes with osteoarthritis push people toward daily pain relievers, prescription anti-inflammatories, and specialty joint supplements that can run $20 to $40 a month, sometimes more, for years on end without ever curing anything. Your grandmother had her own approach to aching joints, and she rarely needed a pharmacy to manage it. Grate fresh ginger into hot water for a daily tea, or massage warm ginger oil directly into stiff knees, hips, or hands a few times a week. The gingerol compound in ginger has anti-inflammatory properties that researchers have studied specifically for joint pain. A study published in the journal Arthritis and Rheumatism in 2001 tested a concentrated ginger extract against a placebo in adults with knee osteoarthritis and found that the ginger group reported a modest but real reduction in pain compared to those given the placebo. It is not a dramatic cure, and it will not replace medication for severe arthritis, and anyone with significant joint disease should still work with their doctor. But the mechanism is documented, the relief is real for many people, and the daily cost is about a nickel. Think about what that means. An entire industry sells specialty joint formulas in shiny bottles with clinical-sounding names, built around an anti-inflammatory effect your grandmother accessed with a grater and a pot of hot water. They do not advertise this because a $30 bottle with a small fraction of usable ginger sounds far more impressive than a root from the produce drawer. Your grandmother never needed a clinical-sounding name to know something eased her aching hands. She simply paid attention, repeated what helped, and passed it down to the next generation without ever charging a markup. 15 remedies, one knobby root, about a nickel a dose, and a wisdom that never needed a marketing budget to prove itself. Which one of these are you going to try first? Drop it in the comments right now, because I read every single one. And if your grandmother used ginger for something I did not cover in this video, share it. This community holds knowledge that cannot be found in any book, and every remedy shared here keeps something alive that deserves to be remembered.